Hey, welcome everybody. Paki here, and today I'm giving you guys my top 5 favorite GameCube games of all time. Alright, right before I start, I'm just going to tell you that these are my top 5 games from my childhood that I actually played thoroughly and owned, okay? So, there's going to be a crap ton of games that totally deserve to be on a top 5 GameCube games list, top 10 GameCube, whatever. They completely deserve it, and I completely understand. Some of them I've even played and understood why they're so good. It's just that I didn't have, enough nostalgia with them because I didn't own them and I didn't play them enough, okay? So, some of those games would be Mario Kart Double Dash. Ooh, that was a good game. That's actually my favorite Mario Kart, even though I've barely even played it. Animal Crossing. The one for the GameCube, obviously, was apparently amazing. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, even though people didn't like the art, some people didn't like the art approach that they took for it. People say that's a really fun game. And they also don't like the traveling with the ship, where you have to travel between worlds or lands or whatever. I haven't played it myself, so I don't really know much about it, but I understand that the Legend of Zelda series is really good. And then that goes same for the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I borrowed and only played for like 20 minutes and then gave it back to him because I forgot about it, and then I was like, oh wait, I don't have time to play this. And also my Wii broke, so also Metroid Prime, Paper Mario's Thousand Year Door, apparently an amazing masterpiece for some reason, which is weird. But yeah, Paper Mario. Luigi's Mansion was a really good launch title apparently for the GameCube. Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD. I've actually borrowing Pokemon Colosseum from a friend right now, and the graphics make me want to kill myself. I absolutely love Pokemon, but these two games make me like the art style and how the people are made make me want to kill myself. But nevertheless, they're apparently really good games. And then Super Smash Bros. Melee, arguably one of the best Nintendo games ever made. I never owned. I had a GameCube, and it's my favorite console of all time, and I never owned Super Smash Bros. Melee, and it's kind of depressing. I only owned Brawl for the Wii, which was a good game, but a lot of people that had Melee before it liked Melee more because of the more competitive, tight mechanics and stuff of it. And I have played it. It's just a really good game, but I'm not going to put it on because I didn't own it. So, all right, starting off the list. Sorry, guys, that took so long. What are we? We're already like almost 3 minutes in, and I haven't even started. So, let's get right into it. Number 5. It's going to come out as a shock. You guys, trust me, I have not owned that many GameCube games as a kid. And it's not like I chose what games I got. I just got them from, like my uncle and aunt or my parents or whatever that bought them for me when I was a kid. So number 5, SpongeBob Squarepants, the movie, the game. This easily, I understand, like, if you're like, what the actual frick, I completely understand. It's a completely, like, low budget, like, kind of cheesy game. But honestly, out of all, like, the games that are based off of, like, kids' TV shows and movies, this game easily is the best. Oh my gosh. I mean, there's a lot of other SpongeBob games that are apparently just as good or better. But I mean, there's Jimmy Neutron I had that blows. Chicken Little that blows. Like all, you know what I'm talking about? Like Shark Tale, like all those older TV shows that got video games for just because, they sold a certain amount of movie units. And this is easily the best. This is a really fun platformer, and there are these bonus levels or whatever, these secret levels where it's just they're floating like arena, like platforms or whatever, and it's mainly made out of a bunch of blocks, and some of them spin, some of them disintegrate like underneath your feet after a while, and you have to run really quickly and go through stuff, and it's easily the best part of the game. It was so fun. I think you mainly played as Patrick through that, and then there's also another type of level that were really fast paced, and they're almost like racing, and you're going down like on a bathtub. You guys are like SpongeBob and Patrick are in a bathtub, which I think about like now how gay that is, but yeah, they're like grinding through like these big canyons and cliffs and jumping over obstacles and stuff. It really didn't make any sense, but it was really fun, high action, fast paced. And then also there's the same type of thing with SpongeBob and his tongue. He'd like surf on his tongue, which is like not weird at all. But yeah, that was a really fun game. It was really in depth for being a game based off of a TV show. Well, actually a movie technically, because it was SpongeBob the movie. But all right, number 4, ATV Quad Power Racing 2. Just like that, the last title was my favorite TV show video game or movie video game. This is easily my favorite sports video game. It's not really like a stereotypical sports game like you'd think about. And I'm not talking about. I had Madden 07. That was a fun game. I'm not talking about like soccer, football, or even like those snowboarding games like SSX. I'm talking about ATV Quad Power Racing 2, man. This was a fun game. This is my favorite racing game, I think. I mean, I bet if I had Mario Kart Double Dash, it would probably be better. But this game was so fun. The soundtrack was amazing. I still know like all the lyrics to this day. There's amazing. You can push all these different combinations on your controller to get all these cool tricks. Like you're in midair on your ATV, on your quad, and you're like doing like a log run where you like get off the seat and you like spin around. And it made no sense. Like, it completely defied the laws of physics and common sense and everything. It didn't make any sense, but nevertheless, it was really cool. And it was really fun. There's a lot of aspects of this game that it was a good game, all right? The tracks were really fun. The controls actually were handled really nicely. The graphics were pretty good for how old it is. And there's a timed trial, like, challenge courses in this game that you can do off the side of the main campaign story mode thing, and they're extremely difficult and extremely addicting and hard and fun. And yeah, I love ATV Quad Power Racing 2, which is a long title, but whatever, it's still good. All right, number 3, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Holy poop, it was a fun game, dude. It was a really fun game. There's so much nostalgia. Anywhere from the main storyline, where it was just high action, fast paced Sonic goodness throughout the whole entire thing. And then there's other things that you can do, like battling between people. If you had 2 controllers, you can get in like machines, or whatever. Like there was like a Chaho machine, and like Tails had this weird thing that he got in, like a big walker thing. That was really fun. And also, it's really surprising. This is like really like laid back and very mellow and calm. But I really enjoyed the Chaho, or however you call them, whatever you call those cute little dudes. The little raising gardens that you went into, and you like leveled them up, and you brought animals that you saved from enemies in the main storyline, and you brought them to these Chaho or whatever, and they like freaking like kissed them, and then they like got characteristics. It was weird. The whole thing was extremely weird, but I really loved it. But yeah, the main storyline obviously was awesome. I loved how Shadow was in it. That was a big part of the thing, because Shadow is really cool. It was a really fun game. But okay, so there's Sonic Adventure 2, alright? But there's Sonic Adventure, there's 2 versions of both of these games, alright? I had the Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, alright? So it's a really long title and confusing, but I think it's just a little bit different, a little bit newer than the Sonic Adventure 2, the normal one. Alright, so number 2, I think. This game, I think, is better. It's the first one, Sonic Adventure, but not Sonic Adventure, Sonic Adventure DX, Director's Cut, for the Gamecube, obviously. This was a fun game. There's so much nostalgia in it. The storyline was the main thing. It was really cool how Dr. Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, whatever you want to call him, I was trying to steal all of the Chaos Emeralds in order to give it to this big monster that I don't remember. Either he created it or found it or something, and it's called Chaos. And every time he got a Chaos Emerald, he'd like eat it, and he's this like gelatinous, like jello, almost like he was like a creature made out of water, it almost looked like, and you could see all of his internal organs. You could see like through his clear body, and every time he ate an emerald, a chaos emerald, you can see it like floating around. And every time he ate a chaos emerald, he'd get stronger and bigger. And by the end of the game, he was this huge. He pretty much looked like Godzilla, like a bluish clear giant Godzilla. And the cutscene for it was literally the coolest cutscene I ever saw as a kid in any game. I was like, holy poop, this is so... I'm scared. I was scared because, you know, you're this little blue hedgehog fighting this huge, like, 200-foot Godzilla chaos dude. And, yeah, I really liked that enemy. He was really cool. There's a lot of things to do in the game. There's a lot of different types and different styles of the levels and stuff in the game. It was really fun. I loved it. A lot of nostalgia in that game. And then that game also had Chaho, or however you call it. Number 1, drumroll, Super Mario Sunshine. Bam, there you go. My favorite Mario game I've ever played. I don't care what people say. There's a lot of people that hate on this game and say it's actually one of the worst because it's so different from the Mario games. This is easily my favorite game. It has the most nostalgia I've ever played. Anywhere from freaking using Flood, who was a really cool mechanic. He looked kind of dumb, but he was really cool. To this nostalgic, almost creepiness of Shadow Mario. The cutscene where Peach freaking sees Shadow Mario in the background, and she's like, oh. And she's like, And the whole thing where Shadow Mario is like completely set up Mario. Mario got screwed over in this game. The whole entire time he's battling and fighting Petey Piranha, all of these like these paint like graffiti monsters, which sounds really dumb, but Shadow Mario, if you don't know, he like had this brush that he used to make graffiti over, like all over everything, and the graffiti, like the paint, like completely, like it like spawned little like creatures and enemies and stuff. So it was so fun. I love Shadow Mario. He was a really cool enemy, and Mario was one of the coolest graphics. To this day, the water engine that they had in that make the water graphics still look amazing, and it's really funny because it's a pretty old game now. The style, I love the art style and the level design and all of the levels because it's all tropical themed because you're on Isle Delfino, which I think means the island of dolphins or Dolphin Island or something. Because apparently it's an Easter egg that pays homage to the fact that the Gamecube's original like secret code name when it was being developed was the Dolphin, I think. So, you know, there's a lot of Easter eggs in Super Mario Sunshine that like, you know, hint at that. But the game was really fun. I loved how everything was tropical. You know, all the beaches that you could play at, Serena Beach, something Nico Bay, the other beach. There's a second beach that had like all those weird quackle dackle duck things that like ran after you and shot you up in the air. Man, every single level and every single world of that game was amazing. I loved how you can see one world by looking out in the distance from another world, so it made you feel like the whole world was all together. There were a bunch of Easter eggs and cool little things going against like Tissimo or whatever his name was really creepy and cool looking, and it's like I get like shivers down my spine every time I see that guy because like I remember as a kid like how mysterious he was. He was this dude in a costume who apparently is I don't remember what his name is, the something guy from some Zelda game, because someone went and took off his like purple clothing mask and stuff that he wore, and he apparently looks exactly like this guy from Zelda, which is kind of cool. I loved this game. I loved how difficult it was. It was actually really challenging, but my favorite thing, okay, first off, well, the music was amazing too. The music was like the main music that played throughout most of the levels, and when you were at Delfino Plaza, it was amazing. But my favorite thing was the secret levels, the secret course levels, whatever the heck you want to call it. When you go into like a secret pipe, or you have to find it. It's not like you don't have to beat them, I don't think, in order to go through the game. But it was easily my favorite thing. The best platforming I've ever played and the most fun I've ever had in any platforming game I've ever. They're pretty much the same type of thing where it was like you went in and there are these big platform obstacles, kind of like those secret bonus levels in SpongeBob, in that SpongeBob game I was talking about. And it's just platforms up in the sky where if you fall off, you just fall to your death. It never ends. There's no floor or anything below you. And so you have to be really precise. And there's all types of different mechanics in the game, rotating like blocks and different squares and all kinds of different like platforms and stuff that moved and turned, and you had to work your way around and jump over long jump, like wall jump in order to. It was really fun, and at the end you got your shine sprite. But at the very beginning, like I forgot to say, Shadow Mario takes Flood from you, and he like grabs it off your back, and what you're doing basically is going through this tiny little platforming level to get to the end in order to get Flood back from Shadow Mario. So that's what makes these levels hard, is that you don't have Flood. You can't just like it almost would be like cheating. It'd be super easy to play with Flood because you'd be able to hover over everything. But yeah, you had no Flood, so it was more like an original, more normal Mario game. It was really cool. I liked that. And so at the end, once you got that, you got the Shine Sprite, which is like it's the main goal in the game is to get all 120 Shine Sprites. And then you get Flood back or whatever. Oh my gosh, so much nostalgia, man. I love that game so much. If they made a remake for the Wii U, even though I didn't even have a Wii U, I would totally, hands down, put money on the table for an HD remake of Super Mario Sunshine. I love that. So much nostalgia, so much. It was so great. Oh man, Super Mario Sunshine. The music, the everything, guys. Anyways, thank you for watching. This has been Puggy's top 5 favorite Nintendo GameCube games of all time. And I'm sorry, I understand there's probably a lot of games that should be on the list that a lot of people will have on their list. I just never played them, and I'm sorry. I was deprived. I had a GameCube, and I know I didn't play any Zelda, and no, I didn't play like Metroid or any of these Nintendo franchises, which is kind of depressing, but yeah. Oh well. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Puggy. Bye. Peace out.